Hey everybody, it's me again, Wisp, back with the consistent uploads this time. And in this video, I'm actually going to be talking about the Thalys weapon, which is, well, let's just say the newest weapon since it came out recently along with other weapons, but it's a special weapon. It differs from the other two. And a little spoiler, this thing is kinda crazy, so I'm not gonna mess around and let's just get started with the review. So the way to obtain this weapon is actually really simple. I have already explained it in my last video, so if you haven't seen that, make sure to check it out. And the way to obtain this weapon is also by playing the new game mode, the Isle Weaver thing in the Doviri. And the way to obtain this is pretty simple, just exchange scuttler husks. Now you need 96 of them, which it's not a low number, but if you actually play this game mode a few times, you'll obtain it pretty quickly. That's how I managed to do it. I think it only took like 5 games, and if you get the hang of it, you can speedrun them. Now it's not exactly expensive when it comes to the materials you need, because you will get all of these materials at the end of the Oraxia room. When you beat her, when the gate opens, there's just a bunch of crates you can destroy, and all of these resources drop, so you don't have to worry about farming it in other places, mostly the murmur tile sets, because they have these resources. But yeah, this is how you obtain the weapon. It's pretty simple, and I really recommend getting this weapon because you're just gonna see. Okay, so let me just go over the different incarnate evolution thingies on this weapon. So the first one is, easy. You get more range and attack speed. It's the only one you can choose. And, it's the one that actually unlocks the incarnate. Then evolution 2 and 3 are actually pretty unimportant of which one you choose. It's probably up to personal preference. But they are the Dreadful Reach, which makes you gain 0.1 meters for 8 seconds whenever you deal status effect damage with this weapon. It stacks up to 20, so you get plus 2 meters, which it's not actually bad. Then you get attack speed, which I chose. It's pretty self-explanatory. And Raging Drift gives you 80% attack speed while sliding, so it's only the slide attack itself, and it also gives you a longer slide. Then evolution 3, as I said, is also pretty much up to choice. The first evolution, or like the upgrade, is Nimble Scythe. For each enemy hit by a slide attack, it gains plus 5 combo count, so you can actually do a slide build on this weapon if you are willing to. Then there's Echoes of Rage, plus 1 combo count on shard damage. I'm going to explain the shards in a little bit, so you don't have to worry. This is also the one I chose. And Adept Reflexes, you start your combo with, plus 20 initial combo, so you get your incarnate faster. Now, 4 and 5, personally, I believe you should choose the ones that I have, as they do more than the other ones. They're just slide buffs, but these ones actually change the weapon. Now I have the Swift Transmute, which basically halves the combo that you need to activate the incarnate form from 6 times combo to 3 times combo. Then Vaulting Leap is 100% jump and double jump height, so basically twice the height. And Devastating Mercy is ground finishers knock enemies down a 6-meter radius. I personally don't really like this one, since this weapon, I don't think that this weapon knocks down enemies that easily, but I could be wrong. Because I can really test this, and I'm going to show you why in a second. Then the 5th evolution, I will also choose the one I have. It's pretty good. Then the Explosive Growth. The shards grow whenever a new shard is created up to 3 times. So it's basically just more shards, and what shards are, again, I will explain soon. Then fully grown shards erupt out of the embedded enemy, dealing 2 times the damage and impaling them on the spot. Then Chain Shatter. Heavy attacks detonate shards. Shards caught within the blast radius will also detonate. This is the one I chose because, you know, it's just big damage. And Void Splinters. Shard duration is increased to 30 seconds. Shards become weak spots that have plus 100% critical chance when damaged. Shard damage is reduced by 50%. So, you know, this is like a buff and debuff. I believe that this is mostly used when you use this weapon as a primer, but I don't really recommend using this weapon as a primer because it's really, really good. Now, before I get into the build, I'm going to explain the unique trait. Basically, it's very simple. Whenever you attack enemies in the incarnate form, it has to be a basic attack, I believe, but I'm not sure. It makes shards appear in enemies. Each time a new shard is created, existing shards deal 75% weapon damage to embedded foes. Now, the thing is, you can detonate those shards with my build, my evolutions, which, you know, deals a lot of damage. Now, I am unsure of whether there's a limit of how many shards can be inside of an enemy. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter, because we're about to see just how broken this weapon is. Now, my build is pretty simple. I have Primed Fury for more DPS. It's a pretty basic critical chance build. I also have Shocking Touch because of melee influence. Galvanized Steel, Elementalist. Now I would recommend changing this Opportunity's Reach for another mod. I am not exactly sure what it's called, but it's a golden one, like Condition Overload. But then again, it's also pretty much just personal preference which one you choose here. But I believe that mod, which I again forgot the name of, just gives you more critical chance whenever you use the Tennokai attack. The Tennokai attack is, you know, like the fast or heavy attack. I believe that's basically it. I don't really use combos because this weapon's pretty broken. Now the Riven disposition on this thing is extremely low, but you don't even need a Riven on this because of how broken this weapon is. Anyway, let us go into the simulacrum. Okay, so here I am in the simulacrum. I just tested out the weapon a little bit, and let me just show you what this weapon can do. I just group them out together, and you can see how quick I will be able to kill them. Yeah, they die pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure they also die even quicker without the incarnate mode for some reason. At least they should just reset it. Yep. So let me just simulate again. Put them together and I'm going to show you how fast they can just die. I did this start a little bit wrong, but you know, it's still very quick for a very easy to obtain melee. Let me just do what I usually do. I actually heavy attack way too early, so that's the thing. There we go. The thing is, you know, the shards explode, and when the enemies are grouped up together, all of them explode because it deals blast damage, I believe. I'm just stupid, I'm yapping nonsense, but if we just... if I just spawn one enemy, it will actually take a little bit longer to kill, but still pretty quick. But it's still a very, very, very good weapon. And this is a pretty tanky enemy, so, you know, it's pretty quick. But of course, you don't have to use a grouping ability for, you know, this enemy. As you can see, I'm just gonna let them stand right here. I'm just gonna make sure that everyone has a shard, and yeah, they're all already dead. So yeah, I would really recommend getting this weapon. But then again, it is a end game weapon because you can only get it by, you know, playing the Isle Weaver game mode, and that is unlocked after you unlock. I mean, after you finish the Hex quest, which, you know, it just sucks, but it's definitely a weapon you should get if you are in the late game. And I'm pretty sure that's already it for the video. I don't really have anything else to say. But, you know, this weapon is very good. I recommend getting it. It's probably a shorter video for once. I hope you guys have an amazing day, as always. My name is Wisp, and I'll see you guys next time.